Hello everyone, welcome to another group prediction. Today we are going to do aespa. In the description below I will have the timestamps for the questions that we were going to answer in this video in case you want to jump around. And with all of that said, let's jump into the first question, which is how is the group currently doing? So how is aespa doing right now? So we have the Hermit, Strength reverse, and the Sun reverse. So the Sun card is one of the few cards that even if it's reversed, it's still pretty positive. So right now the group is going through a big change or a big transformation, or they're in like a very big checkpoints in their life. Now I'm saying that because we have 3 major arcana, so 3 out of 3 we have some big cards. The Hermit card tells me that at the moment many of them are staying, keeping to themselves, staying pretty closed off. They are trying to stay pretty private about their situation. They're keeping their opinions very close to them. They're not really speaking up. They're not really hanging out with other people. And the reason is that many of them are going through this reflective, introspective mode. The Hermit does talk about someone that isolates themselves willingly in order to understand themselves better, get to know themselves better, and also have a better understanding of who they are as people, so that they have a better idea on how to function and adjust to the world around them. So the Hermit card just shows that right now the group is all kind of just doing their own thing, trying to think for themselves, learn and grow. That doesn't mean that they're not hanging out with people. That doesn't mean that they don't hang out with each other. It just means that right now they prefer to use their solitude and their free time for themselves to grow and reflect, rather than like just hang out with other people or socializing. Also, the Hermit card is a number 9 card, so that also tells me that the whole group is going through this shift and transformation where they're closing cycles, they're wrapping things up, they're coming to conclusions on different situations. And with the conclusion of all of the things that they're going through, they are already reaching like a new beginning or a new chapter in their life. So it seems like they're going through this transition period where they're finally putting like a little bow around everything and finally coming into like the end of something and preparing for whatever new things life has to offer to them, which it's a mentality that makes sense since we are transitioning into this new year, and like anything that had to be done before, it's getting done, and now thinking and planning for the future is a very normal energy to be in right now. Then we have the Strength card reverse. So the Strength card reverse makes me think that right now the group is going into the self-reflective mode, so like that they can plan what they want for the future and figure out what it is that they need to adjust or change within themselves in order to have the courage and the bravery to take risk or to try something new in life. So the Strength card does talk about someone that is very charming. It talks about someone that's very eloquent or potentially eloquent, but it's talking about someone that is figuring out how to use love and care as a form of solving a problem instead of using force or violence. Now, with the Strength card being reversed, that just makes me think that the group is currently in a stage where they're trying to figure out how they can peacefully and very calmly solve the issues, and they're trying to make it kind of like integrate that as part of their core personality, making sure that they already have the skills or the experience on how to appease a situation, how to de-escalate problems, and how to try new things in their life in a way where they're not constantly fighting or constantly going against the current in order to accomplish their goals and their dreams. So it seems like the group is trying to create something a bit more stable, something a bit more secure, and also they're trying to kind of grow into this independent individual that is able to think for themselves and act upon whatever desire or plans or goals they have in mind. So this Strength card reverse just makes me think that the group hasn't fully embodied what the Strength card is, having the strength to solve an issue in a completely different way than other people will do. Oh, by the way, some of the signs that we have here is Virgo, Leo, and then the Sun, which is the planet that represents Leo. Now, with those signs, it seems like mid-July to mid-September could be a very important season for the group. So I don't know if maybe last year that's the season that kind of pushed them to think, we have to change something within us, or if that season within this year is going to be where we are going to see like the biggest transformation. Which, now that I think about it, those will be the months that are like leading up to um the group's anniversary. It's just that I don't know. I don't remember when aespa debuted, but like how many ever years they're kind of already reaching like another mark, another checkpoint, or another mark that represents the end and the start of something new for the group. So yeah, I guess an anniversary or a debut date is a good way for the group to kind of go through this whole transformation of like, okay, so what did we learn this past year, and then what are we going to work towards the next year? It's kind of like a birthday, if you want to put it that way. So yeah, the strength card reverse, they haven't fully embodied the strength and courage that the strength card represents. I think they're still working on figuring out how they can comfortably, based on their personality, based on how they want to go about things, how they can very comfortably get into that energy that will just give them the confidence and the courage to continue moving in life. I'm not saying that they're not brave or courageous at the moment. I think it's more along the lines of they want to shift their mentality or shift their way of doing things. And since they're growing as people, as individuals, and just experiencing life and the whole journey, they are noticing that they have to shift and adjust some things. And that's why this new personality or this new person that they're becoming does take a while to not only adjust to, but also to be comfortable in. Next, we have the Sun card reverse. So the Sun card is pretty positive if it's upright or reversed. So in that case, we don't really have to focus too much on that. If anything, the only reason why this card could be reversed is because the group doesn't really feel too optimistic or too happy, or maybe they're lacking this inner child healing that is necessary as part of their growth. So this card reverse could be that they haven't fully believed in the good things that are happening to them. Maybe they're in this mentality where they have to work hard to accomplish their goals and their dreams, instead of seeing the positive aspect of maybe resting a bit, or the positive aspect of taking things a bit slow, or the positive aspect of like taking a step back and allowing things to just happen. That like they don't have to be super involved, super attentive. Like sometimes they can take a step back and just enjoy the journey for what it is. But the Sun card here just shows that there's a lot of positivity, there's a lot of abundance coming their way. They're going to get a lot of clarity on things pretty soon, because I'm thinking of how like the sun illuminates things in such a way that we can see things clearly. There is also this sense of like enlightenment that we kind of hint at a little bit with the Hermit. Like this light or this lantern that the Hermit has is supposed to kind of represent finding inner enlightenment and getting this inner knowledge of your self-knowing and self-worth that kind of will become the guidance that you need to push forward into the unknown. And I think this Sun card here is showing that the group will soon kind of come out of their cocoon and will be able to finally experience like all the beautiful things that life has to offer, and also just enjoy a little bit more of their accomplishments and of their hard work. And because of that, it might help them a little bit to relax and feel that this comfortable energy of I don't have to push myself as much. So what is in store for Restless Career this 2025? So we have New Moon in Pisces with Meditate and Contemplate. Now that card totally makes sense because the group is going through change and transformation, as we saw earlier. So this Pisces energy just shows that one of the things that will benefit their career a lot is if they take things a bit slower, if they try to analyze the situation from a place of an intuitive mind, meaning that they trust their gut feelings, they trust their heart, and they guide themselves through that, through their emotions, through it's like Pisces is able to analyze the situation very differently from like what an earth sign or what an air sign will do. And Pisces energy is kind of like just going with the flow, going with the current, and just figuring out what works for you in a very emotional and intuitive way. So when I mean by emotional in this case is like the group's career will be one where they may have to practice a lot of patience. It might be one where they will have to constantly discern the difference between reality and illusion. And what I mean by this is like maybe they're talking to people or they're talking to situations, or just going through a situation where they will have to kind of dig through a lot of this muddy energy, a lot of this unclarity, and try to figure out their center and try to ground themselves once again. Because Pisces energy is a daydreamer. Pisces energy is very mysterious, and the reason why it's mysterious is not because Pisces is trying to be mysterious, but more along the lines of like it's kind of hard to tie down Pisces energy and just kind of put a label on it like this is how they are. You definitely can, but what I mean is like the energy is very untangible and constantly flowing and moving, so it's kind of hard to grasp and kind of put in one place. So what I mean by this in terms to aespa's career this year is that they may encounter a lot of situations when things are not very clear, or someone is painting this picture that seems a little bit too good to be true. So I do feel that the group will have to practice a lot of patience in the sense of like, let me take a step back and look at this situation from different angles to get a better understanding of what's going on, and that I'm not jumping into conclusions that things are going to go the way that I want them, or things are just going to be completely perfect, easy, and like with no bumps in the road. So this meditate and contemplate just makes me think that this year the group will benefit a lot from reflecting and from analyzing the situations and the people that they're dealing with, because not a lot of things are going to be clear, and they may not even be aware of how uncertain some things are unless they follow their heart. So what I mean by this in this case is like if they use their intuition, they may, or listen to that gut feeling within them, they may get an idea if like someone's good news or bad news, or they will get a better idea if they actually have all the information necessary to make a good decision for themselves, one that will benefit them rather than one that could be good for the moment, like, oh, this sounds very good, let me try it, but then in the long term it's not that great. Anyway, let's go on to the next section, which is the individual career predictions. So what is in store for Karina's 2025, well, career this year? So we have alleviation and good news. So alleviation is a good card to have based on like what we have seen as a common theme for the group. So for Karina, it seems like this year something that will definitely help her is if she connects to her ancestors, or if she prays a little bit. Now, I don't know if Karina is religious or anything, but what I mean by praying, if she weren't, or even if she was, what I mean is like for her to like connect to her manifestations, connect to her abundance. It's like trust that there's people out there that want to help her, and being able to work with them. It could be a higher power in the sense of like an ancestor, it could be her spiritual guides, or it could be her higher self. And if we are talking about earthly beings, then it could be higher ups in the company, or higher ups in the industries, or seniors within the industry, and if not, anyone that she relies on. So alleviation just makes me think that this year she will get good news in the sense that she will know that she's taken care of. She will know that she is supported. She will feel secure because she knows that there's people that have her back, people that trust her, and even people that believe in her more than she believes in herself. So there will be times that Karina will meet people that are able to see her potential unfiltered of whatever insecurities she may feel at the moment. So those insecurities can be just not, maybe not really trusting that the process or the journey will be beneficial for her. That journey can be whatever or however it expresses in her life. And because of that, these people that do trust in her will be constant mirrors or a constant reminder that just like people believe in her, she should believe in herself. And I think this good news just shows that she feels that energy of support and love from other people that will definitely help her, or it will kind of transfer to her to believe in herself as well. Now, I don't know if Karina has those type of issues of like, trusting and believing in herself, but regardless, that area is going to definitely strengthen, and that will definitely give her, as we saw earlier with the group prediction, with the current group's energy, this energy that we see for Karina will definitely help her get that confidence to be courageous and take risks and take the necessary steps to accomplish her goals and her dreams without being held back or resisting. So I think that's the good news, that she will know that there's people looking out there for her and people that are wishing for her to do well. Now let's go on to the next person, which is Giselle. And what's in store for Giselle's career this 2025? We have homeless and daydream. It seems like this year Giselle's going to be resting quite a lot. The homeless card just makes me think that either she's traveling constantly, but the daydream makes me think that either she is traveling so much that she's not settling anywhere for very long, but it is something that she has always wanted or something that she had daydreamed about. If anything, the best way that I can describe Giselle's energy this year is that maybe Giselle was trying to manifest vacation and wanting to travel around to explore and rest, but instead what she ends up getting this year is a lot of traveling, but not so much an actual vacation. It's like traveling because of her work, and it's like, yes, I wanted to go to these places and I wanted to see these things, but since I'm working so much, I can't actually enjoy it like I had wanted to. So I do feel there's this sense of like Giselle is going to get what she wants, but not fully. But I think the best way that I can describe this energy as well is that it's just kind of like a little taste of what she could have, and it's just being implemented into her career because that's the most likely way she can experience it at the moment that she's in. So that makes me think that if Giselle is wishing and trying to manifest a vacation where she can just travel freely, the universe will give her the ability to travel to some of those places so she can actually start visualizing and planning for when she can actually travel for leisure rather than work. So these two cards being put together, it feels like Giselle's career will give her the ability to see some of the places she's always wanted to go or to experience things that she has always wanted to experience. But since she's working, she can't fully enjoy them because she has to like concentrate on making content or concentrate on just getting her work done rather than being able to actually just enjoy the moment and experience it for what it is. So this two cards just makes me think that Giselle's manifestation will come, but it's kind of more of a preview rather than the full manifestation itself. So again, these two cards do feel, they don't necessarily feel positive nor negative. It feels more like that's just how things are going to be this year. I guess it's just a heads up of sorts for Giselle. Now let's go on to the next person, which is Winter. What is in store for Winter's career this 2025? We have mask and confinement. So for Winter, it feels like she's going to go through a moment where she won't be able to fully express herself and show who she is. The mask card makes me think of someone that always has to put up a mask, someone that always has to put up a front, someone that may have to constantly entertain other people, because it makes me think of the symbol for theater is like a happy mask and a sad mask. And that's why I'm thinking of like someone that's trying to entertain by putting up this front, or you know, the industry that they're in is one that they kind of have to constantly please the consumer, the people that are watching them. Is like, I'm here to show you like the best version of myself, and I'm here to show you the most positive outcome of things. So I do feel that this year that type of mentality or that type of, I guess, expectation is something that's gonna weigh down on Winter a little bit, because the confinement makes me think that maybe Winter can't fully express herself the way that she wants to, or she feels like she can't really show how she feels because of the industry that she's in. Is like one where it is better to stay as neutral as possible constantly. So it's like, if I show an emotion, some people will see it for what it is and other people will use it against her. And okay, not against her, like it only happens to Winter, but more like that's just kind of how the industry works. That's just how the internet works. It's like someone is just living their life, experiencing it for what it is, and then there will always be someone that will glorify it, and there will always be someone that makes it even worse or tries to change it and shift it so it fits their narrative, making someone the evil person. So that's just kind of how the world works. That's just how the internet works, and I do feel that that type of energy is something that is going to weigh a lot on Winter this year. I don't really know what will happen or what stage or situation Winter may be in her journey of self growth and understanding. that maybe she's reaching that point where she's like, oh, I'm tired of people always doing this, or I'm tired of always having to keep up appearances, or something along those lines. She's just reaching this point of where she's noticing the situation that she's in and the lifestyle that she has, and being like, I'm tired of that type of restriction and that limitation. And if not, she will finally realize, like, oh, this is something I don't want, I don't like it, and that realization will make her maybe feel a bit trapped. And maybe that's the experience she's going to have this year. So these two cards don't really tell me if this is just like a personal thing that Winter will go through, or if this year she will experience a situation that will make it very, very obvious. I was gonna say glaring in, I can't say it right now, but super, super obvious to Winter that she has to keep appearances and she will not like that. So I don't know, maybe it could be a reality check as much as his just self-awareness. I don't know which one it could be. And the reason why I'm making a distinction is that on one hand, if it's a reality check, then it could be a bit painful for Winter to go through that and have this realization that this is how the world works and that she's not happy with it. But if it's self-awareness, then that just kind of shows that she's just gathering the wisdom of just knowing that this happens and just coming to the realization that she doesn't like it either. So one of it is like a very real situation that happened that made her have like this epiphany, and the other one is just her looking back and realizing, damn, that's kind of messed up, I don't like that. So one, I'm saying is that one feels a little bit more of like a punch to the face, and the other one just feels more of just learning and understanding. But yeah, it feels like Winter's career will make her come to this realization that she feels a bit trapped in keeping up appearances. Oh, and the other message that just came up is that Winter may also not like how this year she's going to notice how there were a lot of people that were just being fake, or were not being honest, and were just trying to take advantage of situations, of people, or of opportunities in a way that comes more of a malicious aspect rather than coming out from a place of necessity. Or even then, even if it comes from a place of needing to keep up an appearance to survive, it came off a bit toxic somehow. And I think Winter is going to realize that people do this either to her or to the circles that she's in, and she's not really going to like it. She may feel a bit trapped being surrounded by a bunch of people that are being fake, or feel trapped that she's surrounded by people that are trying to keep up these appearances, and because of that she can't have genuine connections with people. Something like that. Let's go on to the last person, which is Ning Ning, and figure out what's in store for Ning Ning's career this 2025. So we have Death. I want one more card just to clarify. Or two. We have Death, Accident, and Okay. To me, this is very clear. So one thing that Ning Ning is going to go through in her career is a super big shift. So the Death card is like, I'm taking it as in Death in Tarot, the whole thing of like the end of the cycle and the beginning of a new one is a death and rebirth moment. So for Ning Ning, it feels like this year, by accident, she will encounter a situation that will kind of push her to change her mentality or to shift her and go through this transformation. Like, she will be okay at the end of it, but it may be a bit of a rough patch at the moment. But I do feel that it's an accident because it feels like Ning Ning is going to experience something that is momentarily, like it's not a big issue. Well, actually, the first thing that I thought of was like Ning Ning may experience like something that at the moment has a big impact. Like it's like it kind of came crash landing on her. I don't know why those words came up. Isn't that the title of a Korean drama? That could be significant. I don't know. But maybe Ning Ning this year will go through an experience that it's very noisy at first when it happens. Or when I mean noisy, I don't mean it quite literally. I mean it like it has a lot of buzz. It makes a lot of noise. It makes quite an impact when it happens. But it's not going to be such a huge deal at the end of the day. So maybe she will go through an experience that creates quite a lot of conflict, quite a lot of noise, a lot of speculation, but everything will be okay by the end of it. So I don't. What the thing is that I'm not really feeling intuitively. I'm not really feeling if it's going to be something we should worry about or something that we can like go past that. And the reason why I can't do that is because I have a feeling that maybe to me it's not a very big deal, but to other people it might. Is so, how should I put it? Because of how noisy the situation might be, to some people they don't have the understanding and the experience to realize that it will pass over, and because of that it's a very big deal to them. But maybe to senior fans or people that have been in the industry or have been in K-pop long enough might be able to say this happens, it, she'll get over it, or the situation will blow over eventually. It's not a very big deal. So that's why I'm telling you that I can't really channel if we should be concerned about this potential incident or this potential issue that Ning Ning may encounter this year, because I have a feeling that to some people they're going to know, like, you just give it some time and things are going to settle down and she'll be fine. And to other people, they are going to feel like, oh, you guys are just being insensitive, you guys just don't get it, or you guys just don't care. And it's like, it's not that these people don't care, it's just that they understand that in situations like this the best outcome is just to wait things out. So I do feel that that's why I can't really pinpoint if it's going to be a big deal or not. So anyway, the thing that Ning Ning may go through is one that will make her reflect a lot, grow a lot, and transform. And it's going to be a death and rebirth for her. I also can't tell if it's going to be like maybe a physical accident that will kind of force her to reflect, or if it's being a metaphor here of like she's going to go through a situation that will be kind of like the catalyst or like the thing that sparks this transformation within her. And but do know that regardless of how this happens and how it all works out, at the end of the day everything will be okay. So Ning Ning will just learn the lesson that she has to learn, or she will just go through the transformation that she has to go through, or she will just go through the incident and just manage it. That's the kind of energy that we see here. Now let's go on to the third question and figure out any advice in healing that aespa has to hear for this year. Well, I'm going to take that one. And I'm going to take this little chunk. So we have Gibeah's moon with you're very close to achieving your goal. So again, this is that energy of the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. It's like they're very close to coming into the conclusion of something. They're very close to closing up some cycles and opening new ones. We also have North Node with step out of your comfort zone. The whole idea that we saw earlier with strength is like they're finally going to reach this comfortable state where they will be able to take risks again, or they will feel comfortable taking risks and trying new things and just venture into the unknown. So this step out of your comfort zone kind of shows that the group is being encouraged to try new things, figure out new ways of doing things, having just new experiences to continue growing and learning. And maybe through those experiences they will be a step closer to figuring out what type of lifestyle they want to go through, what they want to live through, and so on. We also have full moon in Cancer with a personal issue reaches resolution, which again, it goes back to like the ending of cycles, the beginning of new ones, resolutions, conclusions, the end of cycles, the start of new ones. It definitely feels like the group is just going through a transformation where they're being encouraged to leave the past in the past, grow from it, learn from it, and adjust and go through this change that will help them just become stronger, and in exchange make them have the courage necessary to take risks and try new things in life. That will also give them an idea of what type of lifestyle they want for the future. It's like if you try new things, you'll have a better idea of what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and that also gives you a better idea of what to do or what path to take in order to manifest or to create that future that you visualize. Lastly, we have a full moon in Gemini with the answers you need are coming. So if any of them feel a bit stagnant, or as we saw earlier with the Hermit, are reflecting, then they will soon get the answers that they're looking for. So if they're maybe they said to themselves, I don't understand why this happens, or I don't understand this other thing, then soon enough they're going to get the answers that they needed to in order to have those questions answered, or they're soon going to go through experiences that will give them the knowledge that they need or that is necessary for them to continue going down the path that works the best for them. So that just means that some of them are going to figure out, oh, that's the future that I want, that's the lifestyle that I'm aiming for, this is the type of person I'm trying to become, and all of those things will definitely help them continue on their journey, continue growing, and giving them the experiences necessary to just live the best life in the best version of themselves. So the two cards that we have here is Gemini and Cancer energy. So those two signs are right next to each other as well. So that's mid-May to mid-July. And those seasons could be important for their self-growth. That could be during the time that the group goes through very long periods of solitude, and that helps them reflect, adjust, and heal. Also with Cancer and Gemini energy, that makes me think that hanging out with siblings, hanging out with family, and socializing with their close circles could be a very good way for them to grow as people, because they are in a safe, comfortable place where they can express their vulnerabilities, their weaknesses, and therefore know what they have to work on and grow. I do also feel that I'm saying siblings because Gemini is sometimes connected to siblings with the third house and everything, and Cancer is usually talking about your close circles, your family. So again, hanging out with people that they feel this brotherhood, sisterhood type of vibe, or people that they feel is like family to them, even if it's not a biological family. Hanging out with those people can definitely give them the strength and the space necessary for their growth as individuals, which is kind of like the whole theme for the group this year. Anyway, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you also learn from it, or that at least you find it interesting. I will see you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. It definitely feels like the whole theme for this reading was for the group to just grow and have the courage to take risks in the future, and the best way is for all of them to stick to this very intuitive understanding of not only themselves but the situations that they're in order to survive the year. I don't really know what transformation the group is going for, and by that I mean is like I don't see the end point and I guess I don't see the goal of like this is the new version that of yourself that you should be. I see it more like this is the best version that you can be in order to continue growing and transforming. That's like the best way I can describe the energy here. It's like we're just seeing this is what you could do to grow. This is what energy you can embody to continue down your journey. So I don't really see the end goal of like this is how they're going to end up. I see it more of like this is the energy you can use to continue down your journey, and that's why it feels like they're just in this transition phase. So yeah. Anyway, see you guys in the next one, whenever that is, however that is. Thank you for all the love and support you have shown me and the channel. Let's hope that aespa has a very good year this year, and that they continue taking out some good ass music. Anyway, love and healing for my part to you, and